You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete. Intelligent System Analytic Computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Data scanned. Downloading files.
What's up, guys? You listen to episode 85 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of the Division. The biggest expansion to date, Resistance Update 1.8, is here. Woo! Not a woo anywhere in sight from Luke, but there we go. My name is Mike, and joining me, as always, are my co-hosts, Robert.
Woo! Hello.
And Luke.
Woohoo! Hello.
Not to make up for the other one.
Yeah.
I hope both of you are well, dude.
Yeah.
And our listeners. This is going to be a random episode this week. I think we're all a bit tired. There is a free weekend event to celebrate the launch of Update 1.8.
Woohoo!
Starting from today, the 7th of December, through to the 10th of December. It is across PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox. And not only that, the Division has 70% off. So if you're thinking about picking it up, definitely go pick it up. Or try it out. Or grab the season pass like I did this week for PC. I didn't have it on PC. I picked it up. It was pretty cheap. That's it, I think.
Nice.
Free weekend, done. And yes, to anyone that has been following us on social media or on the YouTubes this week, we released a new video series called Agent Origins. It's been going pretty well, hasn't it, guys?
Yeah.
I'm scared Luke's just holding back in case he bursts out laughing. The idea behind the series was to get everybody kind of caught up with the ins and outs of the Division and just kind of go into a little bit more detail on some of the simpler sides of the game itself, some kind of bits that aren't directly covered by the game itself. So hopefully that's been helping a few people out. I just want to thank everyone who's checked it out or shared it or liked it or looked at it, whatever you want. Thank you very much.
And if you're a new listener to the podcast because of these videos, welcome.
Yes, we've had you've had a lot of love for putting up your videos over the past couple of weeks, Rob. So congratulations on doing that, and thank you to anybody that does listen or watch anything we put out content wise. Thank you very much. Anyway, let's get on with some news.
The state of the game.
Luke, Update 1.8 launched this week.
It did. It was successful as well, apparently.
Apparently it was successful. How do you think it went?
I think it was pretty darn successful, to be honest.
Robert, how do you think it went?
I was on Reddit all day expecting to see like a game-breaking glitch, and I didn't see a post like that. So for Division patches, it's pretty good so far.
Are we saying this is like the best patch we've had?
Possibly.
Since the launch of the game?
I think so. I think we might be saying that, yeah.
I think there's been like maybe a few minor issues. I think there's problems with what people were getting dropped in World Tier 4 straight away, and people are a bit confused about the stash, how it's been rearranged since the update dropped. But really, not really anything game breaking from what I've seen so far. Do we know if they fixed the mod stacking bug?
I don't know officially. They haven't said anything, but I've not seen a lot of people moaning about any new glitches or pre-existing glitches either, which is like we're in quite a few Facebook communities now, aren't we, which are like 20,000 strong, and that you know, if something is awry, it gets out pretty quick. So yeah, silence is golden on this one, I think.
No, it's been pretty good. I just want to say, like, the community feedback on this, Reddit has been so positive over the past since Tuesday, 3-4 days. I think everybody's enjoying the patch. I think we've got people, it's like bringing other people in from outside. It's hitting the top 5 in Twitch. been on the top 5, or at least the top 10 on
top
Twitch
10,
as well.
yeah.
Top 10, yeah.
I think one person who was streaming was hitting like 30k viewers apparently over the past couple of days. And then obviously the Division team, the devs themselves, they had a 24-hour stream, which apparently went really well. I dropped in for a little bit as well. Hopefully I've got my vendors weapon skins, as I expect some of you have.
I got mine.
I didn't watch any of it, so...
Oh, rip.
I jumped in whilst Hamish was streaming, and you could just... It was just literally a line of hashtag... exclamation mark drop.
Yeah.
It was the text is just going by so freaking quick. But yeah, everyone seems really freaking happy with it. So happy that today in the state of the game that everyone's like, so when's 1.9 or the Division 2? But let's just get this one out first, you know?
I think Hamish might have caused that. I'm almost sure I heard Hamish in the background saying, let's have some questions about 1.9, and then chat just exploded with, yeah, when's 1.9? Yannick and Petter just sat there like, oh, God.
Yeah, do you reckon he did that on purpose?
I reckon so, yeah.
So starting next week, Luke, we have an event.
Yeah, next Tuesday, which is December 12th, Global Event 3, Strike, is going live. It's going to be a weekly event, again, like it was before, so Tuesday to Tuesday. Same rules apply with all the global events. Obviously, get your classified sets as your reward for your global event tokens. This global event will launch classified sets of Nomad, Predator's Mark, Defense, and Banshee.
And there's new masks to go with that as well.
Yeah, they teased those on the State of the Game, didn't they? But they're like, oh, well, we were going to show you a screenshot, but we didn't get it in time. Kappa. It's like, yeah, cheers, dude.
Well, it's coming up to Christmas, so I wonder if it'll be coincided with that at all. We never know. You can get yourself a Santa mask.
What are the strike modifiers then?
I don't know. Why don't you tell us?
Well, I don't know. That's why I was asking.
The one that's always active is Handle with Care, which means enemies will explode after a very short delay once they are killed.
Okay,
the modifier you can put on yourself when you're not in a team, I believe, is the preemptive strike one, which is strike behavior plus if you are taking too much damage, you get a small explosion on yourself.
Okay, not so cool.
And then tactical strike is both of those that were previously mentioned, plus if you make an enemy explode, it will mark and damage nearby enemies. But if you yourself explode, it will damage your fellow teammates.
Okay. That sounds fun.
It's going to be
lots
it's going to be interesting.
This one does sound fun. Yeah.
Rob, out of all those classified sets that are dropping next week, what are you chasing?
All of them.
Okay, which one in particular?
No, all of them. I'm being serious. Nomad's really good at the moment. Predator's really good at the moment. Defense is supposed to be broken, but I want to test it. And Banshee's really good at the moment as well.
How would you feel if Defense comes out next week and it's like the best out of all of them as a like 6-piece classified?
It won't.
Just to troll everybody.
It won't.
The fact is pretty cool. Luke, what are you chasing? Is it the P word by any chance?
I want Nomad, Predator, and Banshee. I couldn't give a shit about defense, to be honest. But yeah, so some serious grinding needs to be done.
Well, the defense, I think, is going to be annoying in PvP because of what they've done to it. But
we'll have to see, I guess.
Will it be more or less annoying than 6-piece striker with a shotgun?
Probably on par.
Awesome.
Well, I'm going to be chasing Predator because if it bleeds, kill it.
You see, now you're not going to get any Predators. Because I said I want all of them, I'm not jinxing myself. You have now jinxed yourself and you're not going to see hardly any Predators.
To be fair, you said Predators. That's plural. I love you, Rob. We did have some interesting news though this week. So everybody's been chasing a lot of the exotics I say a lot of the exotics. 4 exotics that dropped with update 1.8. What was it? The heel, the devil, the house, and the big Alejandro.
Correct. Well done.
Oh my god, that's from memory as well. Look at that.
That's off script as well. Well done, dude.
Look at me. I don't talk about fucking scripts.
Why would you say that?
But Robert, can you tell us how many exotic caches have been opened in the first 24 hours?
769,358.
Can you say that any quicker?
Probably, but I'm not going to attempt it.
Oh,
I just sound like a mumble. The top biggest number of caches per player, the first one was 267. That's insane.
267 caches.
Where did you put all those caches? Where were you hiding them? Second one was 256. Third one was 254. That's insane.
I said to Luke earlier, like only 50% of all players had less than 15 caches. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to log in a minute and I've got nothing.
Yeah, I didn't have any caches either. I don't like doing that because
content.
There's nothing to chase now.
Oh, there is.
If you've got everything.
I had 33 caches and I still need the heel and the house. I got 1 Alejandro, 1 devil, and then the rest of it was sort of like insta-sell. I kept a couple of ninja bags, but 33 caches for not a lot.
Yeah, some people have like, what?
Only 45
like
players.
7 of them.
Right, only 45 players had more than 200 caches though.
We know one of those 45. Don Dunk had 220 something, I think he had.
You would have loved it if he was on that State of the Game.
Did he get all the guns?
He did get at least one of all the guns, but out of those 200 and whatever number caches it was that he officially opened, he got 1 house.
Wow. Yeah, but the problem is now, right, is the talents. You can have a house, not a real one.
You can have a house, but what sofa are you going to put in your living room?
One that turns round.
A spinny one.
A spinny one. We'll go with that house sofa. Anyway, from sofas back to exotic weapons. Yeah. So the fact being, you could get the house, but it could be absolutely terrible rolls on it, couldn't it? Or base damage and stuff like that. So
yeah, I was quite lucky with my Alejandro. It rolled with unforgiving, accurate, and obviously whatever the cover-based talent is called for Alejandro. So I rolled accurate off and got deadly. I'd like responsive, but it wasn't given to me yesterday. So
nice. Yeah. So Luke, you out of all 3 of us, you've played the longest of 1.8 so far. I've been busy this week. I've been recording, editing for the Agent Origins videos. I haven't had a chance to drop on and actually play the update yet. So we're not going to do a review or anything like that this week. Rob, you've been busy as well. So I'm going to go to you first, Luke.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of update 1.8 so far?
I like almost all of it.
I feel like there's a reoccurring situation.
Well, Luke's favourite thing is back, and back with a vengeance, because the Dark Zone has been full of arseholes running 6-piece striker with a shotgun. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Dark Zone at the moment.
Right, but you got this situation where players that went away during the shotgun meta, hey, we're back, guys. We brought our shotguns.
Yeah, probably.
There you go. That's probably half the thing. But I've seen some pretty cool videos as a result of like the rogue changes. I'm seeing a lot of love for the rogue changes. I was kind of split on it. Have you been rogue? It's a stupid question.
Dude,
I know.
Come on.
I don't know because we haven't really discussed it. We've been
yes, I can confirm I have been rogue.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I managed to successfully get off 1 manhunt at the manhunt station. And then every other time I've been killed quite substantially. Like,
have you gone dead. Rogue hunting yet?
Yes.
Is that enjoyable?
Yes and no, because it seems like the servers are still very rogue hunter heavy. So there's only a few rogues running around, or there was in the times that I've been in the Dark Zone. And for somebody like me that likes to show off how many rogue kills he's got, if you're not at the front of the queue waiting to get that smack, you aren't getting that kill because there's 15 other players in front of you.
Yeah, it would be nice if they kind of changed it so if you had like a high percentage of the kill, but you didn't finish the kill, that it counted or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, something needs to, well, it doesn't need to be reworked. It's not a massive issue because, rogue kills effectively don't really matter.
No.
It's just interesting.
I mean, I did see a video today. It was like one dude against like 12 people in the Dark Zone. And I don't know. I guess there might have been new players because one dude was like just looking the other way yet trying to shoot him in the back. And I was like, why isn't he dead? Because that guy's pretty much shooting in the opposite direction. So fresh meat is all I can say. Fresh meat for the Dark Zone is always good fun, especially with that free weekend as well. It's good. Some people are going to blast through the 1 to 30 and be straight in the Dark Zone, thinking they're gods, I guess. Robert.
Yes?
Are you a god?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure we learned this from Ghostbusters, that if someone asks you if you're a god, you say...
Shit, I forgot. Sorry.
That being said, what do you think of 1.8 so far?
I played like an hour of it, so I don't really have an opinion. That's all I'm going to say.
Fair enough, dude. Fair enough.
I will give you a better review next week.
Yeah.
It may only be the same amount of words, though.
It is good.
Oh, yeah, less words then.
Can I state on the record, I'm really looking forward to hearing your wedding speech.
My wedding speech or his wedding speech?
His wedding speech. I am happy.
Oh man, you should have been at Mike's wedding.
No, seriously, dude. Rob's wedding speech would have already been said at the altar. I do. It's like you guys.
I'm thinking about shortening that to something. Okay.
I've got one word you can use. And I pronounce you man and wife. Whatever.
Drops the mic and walks away.
Anyway, back to the Division, not weddings.
Hey, where'd that come from?
My bad.
Apparently staying on track is not in our vocabulary.
Come on, dude. How much sleep are you working on tonight, Mike?
4.5 hours sleep, something like that.
Oh, that's plenty.
Anyway, apparently, update 1.8 is not the last time they will touch the game. As we said a little bit earlier, people have been screaming about 1.9. Obviously, Division chat was going mental. Where's the Division 2? I love the fact I just love how much people are loving this game at the minute. And, 1.8, with everything they added, I think to some people it doesn't seem like a lot. But for almost 2-year-old game to add that much content for absolutely nothing. I know we have like the situation where we kind of feel like the season pass should be free, but if they're making money that will give us a year 3, I go for it. I don't care, I guess, at the end of the day. I'd love for the service to be more populated and that through a free season pass and all that, but there's not really much more I can say on that.
If they were to do it, let's speculate a bit. Let's speculate. If they were to do a 1.9, what would you expect them to do?
Luke, are you going to say it or should I?
It's got to be survival. I mean, I don't know how many times you can mention survival and say, well, we can't confirm there's anything in progress at the minute or anything like that on the state of the game, but it has to be survival. And they even said, acknowledged it today. I've heard rumors of a certain foreign country if there is a sequel, but that's to do with lore, and I don't really want to ruin it for anybody that's listening, so I'm not going to say anything.
No spoilers, dude. No spoilers.
Central Park, I think. If they open anything up, Central Park.
Don't bother asking me, Rob. He said what I was going to say.
Okay.
Well, I mean, look at everything that's been data mined. That's what you have to go off. You know. I wonder
if I could ask for something for 1.9, it would be that we can privately matchmake for skirmish.
Yes. Yeah.
Privately matchmake for survival as well. We're at it. Fuck it.
Well, you can kind of do that. I mean,
you can, but
it takes about an hour to get in.
Well, not that long if you know what you're doing. But yeah, it would be hell of a lot easier if they just gave us an option for private matchmaking. But yeah, I think that's a pipe dream, to be honest.
Which you think would be possible if the fact that you can get 8 people in a chat together, you should be able to go in a group together. And you're not necessarily getting your own server, you're just linking up and then being put in the same server that would populate other people's, wouldn't it?
Yeah. If anybody's listening and you're putting together a bit of a tick list for what to include for Division 2, private matchmaking, please. Pretty please.
I'm going to say for anything to include in a future game, everything you guys have done since launch. Everything. I'm sorry, but it needs to be done. Everything they've implemented from named bosses, HVTs, obviously it's going to be a completely different game, but the game to me now, as it currently stands, which is why I kind of feel like it's so attractive to a lot of people at the minute that are coming from Destiny, is kind of around the Taken King to Rise of Iron era, where content was in a good place and players were really enjoying the game. Would you feel the same about that, Rob?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
it was a really good time because you had a lot of content to play, and I kind of feel like a lot of people have gone away from the Division and come back, and they're like, "Holy shit! Look at everything we have!" And if they literally take everything they've got now, and if there is a sequel, please put what you have now, like the global events, the gear sets.
So you want everything the same, but just in a different city?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm not so much content-wise with regards to DLCs, but what they're doing, if you know what I mean. Like the random spawns up in Westside Piers. Gear sets, that's a really cool thing. Obviously, that can be implemented over time. HVTs weren't there to start with. There was a lot of stuff that wasn't there to start with, if you see what I mean. That's took a long time to get where it is now. I think if you have a lot of those things there at the beginning, you're going to keep people involved more than they did at the start of the Division. And I feel like that's something that Destiny will do at some point with the sequel, which is what they did with the first one. I just don't want the same thing to happen with the Division.
Oh, I see what you mean.
If you see what I mean. I don't want them to strip content and then we go back to a base game and they're like, there's not much to do. Take everything that you've got now and implement it into another game.
I mean, you don't want them to do a Destiny 2.
I was trying to be polite, dude.
I'd like to see more open world stuff.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you.
Shared open world, more MMO style open world, so you can interact with other players, not just in the dark zone, but in the whole open world.
I still stand by the idea of having 24 players a weekday. You do an LZ events, and then or a random day of the week, it turns the map into a dark zone. It's a free for all. I'd love that, something like that. But yeah, this is my random ass idea. Luke, anything you want added?
No, said it. The private matchmaking, Central Park. Survival changes, yeah, that'd be brilliant for 1.9. And where Division 2 is concerned, more open world stuff would be good. Bigger dark zone to start with would be good. But I don't quite understand the argument of you saying not to. I get why you don't want them to strip back the game to vanilla Division levels when Division 2 comes out. But you have got to give them room to improve as well. It. Yeah. You can't make the Division 2 the size of the Division 1.8. It would be logistically impossible in my mind's eye. But
no, I don't mean as in 1.8, but I mean as in PvP. We didn't get PvP to 7-8 months down the road. We have PvP. Do you know what I mean? There's things that took a long time to come to fruition, and I feel like if you had those there to start with.
Okay, yeah.
Especially now we have them. What would be the point in going to a sequel? Do you know what I mean? It should be, in my head, it should be a case of taking what we have now, putting it in another game, and then adding even more to what we already have.
Yeah,
if they have the ability to do that.
What I was just saying was there needs to be that logical progression, though. So if Division 2 did launch as vanilla, so that you didn't have gear sets, and then they brought in gear sets a little bit later down the line that were completely brand new gear sets, so not Predator's Mark .2 or whatever you want to call it, just brand new gear sets, then obviously the logical progression from there is eventually you would get the global events back with classified versions of these gear sets. Because if you bring classifieds out from day one, nobody's going to give a flying fuck about any of the random gear, because that's what's happening with classifieds now. As soon as you see a drop that's not classified, sell it straight away. I haven't optimized my Predator's Mark build because Predator's Mark classified's coming out. There's no point me wasting Division tech on it to instantly replace it as soon as I get some new knee pads.
I think it's more if you have a timeline. If you have a timeline and you let your community know, we've got this coming, we've got this coming, we've got this coming, then I think people would be very happy with that. I think just dropping the base game and having what we had originally with Division 1. Well, it was the same situation with Destiny 1. That was the problem. And they did the same as the Division and revamped it. I just don't want to see, as Rob said, the mistake that Destiny are making, which is taking everything out that they spent 3 years building. But then, like you said, it takes a long time to build this stuff. So it's like, I am torn whether I just want an extension to the game that we've got now or a sequel. Do you see what I mean? Because I still think, and I've said it before, you could add to what we have now, like story-wise and lore-wise, and continue going. But I know there's latent issues with the game itself, with the netcode and things like that, that is never going to go away until we get a sequel potentially. With the issues that we've had from the start fixed with another engine.
Hindsight is always 20/20, isn't it? So the devs and all the community team and everybody associated with the Division will have learned like umpteen amounts of lessons with the way that the Division has gone from vanilla to 1.8. So it can only stand Division 2 in good stead, to be honest. Like all the mistakes that were made on their part, on our part, on as a collective community of gamers and devs, if you like, it can only stand Division 2 in an excellent place from day one, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if we had the game in the state that we have it now, back at 1.1, I think that would have been awesome, because like everything was so different back then. Things were a lot more tanky. It was a lot more difficult to get stuff. You had to go do specific things to go get loot, and it made things very difficult. And obviously that's a topic in the community we'll save for next week. But 1.8 is good. I'm looking forward to the future. I'm hoping there's a future, but we'll have to see. I think they're holding back for a minute. You never know.
Well, update 1.8 is less than
literally
48 hours old.
Yeah,
they're not going to start talking about new shit already, are they? I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, no, I didn't even mean to bring it up as a topic. It was just freaking randomly got that. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, I want to ask you guys, if you were coming back to the Division, what do you think players should be doing to catch up, to play the new content and enjoy update 1.8? Does anybody want to go first?
No.
How to catch up for 1.8?
So they're going to be what, depending when they left the game, what, between 1.1 and 1.8. So the chances are they might have seen gear sets. So obviously go out into the open world.
Yeah, it really does depend when they left, doesn't it? Because if they left, for argument's sake, before 1.2, then they won't know about gear sets. If they left before 1.4, they won't know about the world bosses. And if they left before 1.7, they won't know about classifieds, will they? So,
no.
I guess just have a really good long look round first. That sounds simple, but there's a lot of shit to take in all of a sudden.
Well, that's why we're doing the Agent Origin videos. So
exactly.
If we've got one up,
I guess watch our videos. Yeah. No,
we'll try.
I'm joking.
Don't play the game. Just go and watch our videos and subscribe and like them.
Nice plug there, Rob. Yeah, I mean, if you're coming back to the game, you're going to want to catch up as quickly as possible. So, something I said to somebody was, HVT's really good source of loot. Obviously, go do your search and destroy missions. You pick them up at each safe house at the situation board. You can go out and grab your intel and then go buy HVT contracts, and that will get you a load of loot and currencies and stuff like that. Obviously, underground, I think that still works on world tier as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it does. Dark Zone. The Dark Zone is one of the best places in the game to get loot and loot up very quickly. Apparently, you can loot up in there from like low level tier to world tier 5 in about an hour, potentially, if you can extract that loot.
Yeah, head to 7, 8, and 9. If you're going to do that,
yeah,
I would say.
They're the best places to do that. And then, yeah, obviously there's a global event next week. So you'll be able to get classifieds from that, and a lot of loot will be dropping alongside that. So when the global event turns up, go just play all the missions that have the global event attached to it.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. With the global event dropping next week, if you are a brand new player or you are returning at any point, just get to Gears score 256 as quick as humanly possible before the global event drops, and then literally just stash everything that you find when the global event's on, because the loot range during a global event is off the chart.
Or sell it. If you need the credits, sell it.
Yeah, true.
Or destroy it for materials.
I mean, you're bound to get a few duplicates, aren't you? So you could sell those, obviously. Like, look for the ones that you think have got the best talents in, or the best, obviously, the base stats and whatever. So,
and if you've got like quite a few Phoenix credits or anything like that, go check the vendors. There's plenty of vendor lists out there, so you can go find out what's for sale, and there's some pretty good weapons for sale as well. The only thing is, I think they're only tied to the world tier you're in if you're still trying to get like to end game. But if you are at end game, which would be like what, 256 onwards.
Yep.
Obviously there's stuff there that's pretty good to buy anyway. And then it's just once you're at 256, you're going to be farming named bosses. I mean, you've got a chance of exotics and things like that. I think a friend of mine had one drop. He had an MP5 Navy drop at 280. That was a high end. And he had a pretty good roll on it. It was something like competent, deadly, and like a really terrible talent. I was like, we'll put responsive on it or something like that. And he was trying to get rid of it. I was like, no, don't get rid of it.
No, don't get rid of that.
Not at 280 anyway.
Just doing the open world bosses, and that's always a good farm. Plus, if you haven't collected all your intel, do that, because that you do 4 of those, and you've got a cache, field proficiency cache.
Yeah. Plus your weeklies, your dailies as well.
Yeah.
You can also get exotic caches from survival if you go run survival a few times. And survival itself, you get a load of loot from survival. And Last Stand. Go run a match of Last Stand, and you come back with like 5-6 caches, depending how well you do.
Yeah.
And make sure your stash is free, because the game does drop a lot of loot. It's a case of kind of siphoning through the loot that you do get for the better drops, isn't it? It's like something that I said to someone this week, that I kind of feel like it's not. Whereas other games, you have like raids or activities that you do at end game. I feel like the end game in this is the build itself. Like you're honing your build for like certain activities and things like that.
Yeah.
Like obviously, if you want to go solo the Dark Zone, you can have a pretty kick-ass build. Obviously, you need skill to go with it, but there's no. If you're running terrible talents and attributes on builds and gear, then you ain't going to do very well.
Very true.
Well, legendaries as well. That's a good way to get loads of loot.
Go farm some missions.
You need a pretty decent build to get loot out of legendary missions, though, don't you? To start with, to be fair, or a decent team to carry you through it, I suppose.
Yeah.
That is one thing you can do, though. Get other people to carry you through it. If you know anybody that is higher gear score to you, get them, or even in a higher world tier, get them to pull you through it, because it doesn't take very long. We did it to a friend of ours a couple of months back. And I think he'd literally just hit level 30, and then they introduced world tiers, and he was like, I have no idea what that is. And when he came back to the game after a while, and we got into 256 within, a couple of hours? And that was just running the dark zone.
Yeah, just in the dark zone.
Yeah. So yeah, everything's viable. Just make sure you've got the highest piece gear on at all times, and then you can get to the next bracket, world tier bracket, and then start using recalibration and the optimization and farming div tech and have fun, I guess.
Enjoy the grind.
Questions. So this is a question we did miss last week from Capitan. He said, great state of the game with answers to some rage from the community about Rogue 2.0. Unfortunately, it sounds like the hardcore and or PvP players will have greater chance to get classified gear outside of the global events, with their new system of PvP ranking that will reward classified caches every 5 levels, and harder content and resistance if you want to get those costly purchasable resistance crates. It sounds like to me they're digging deeper into that gap between the PvE, the PvP, and the hardcore casual players. What do you guys think? There's a mouthful there.
What she said.
In other words, are you worried that PvP players are going to be able to get more stuff easily, I guess? Especially classifieds.
Well, no, because resistance is just as good.
Futile?
Reward-wise. Surely.
Yeah, apparently it's like a 6,000 div tech crate or something. I saw on Reddit earlier. I don't know how true that is.
It'd be shade tech, not div tech in resistance.
Oh, shade tech.
Yeah, there is. I haven't played resistance outside of the PTS, so I don't know if I've seen one of these crates yet. But
what?
The underground is very good for classifieds. If you do a challenging underground, there's the potential for there are 4 chances for a classified to drop. So there's the named boss, there's hidden secret chests in the underground, there's underground caches themselves, and then if you happen to be running a phase when a hunter turns up, there's a chance of a classified from a hunter as well. So
yeah,
I don't necessarily agree with
a team of. Sorry,
go on, carry on.
You're running in a team of 4, yeah. So
with Reclaimer, from what I've heard, that's pretty good. Running with the team of 4 with the Reclaimer apparently is pretty good, because it basically makes you immune to one of the directives.
Yes,
shock directive.
Right, okay, got you. I think Rob was alluding to the fact that if you run as a team of 4, it's 4 times 4 chances for classified, so it's 16.
Yeah,
sure.
But no, I mean, where Captain mentions hardcore players, I don't think that really matters, because most hardcore players have already got all the classifieds from the GE, because they will just rinse and rinse and rinse the global event for the week that is active. I know people like me did. The PvP thing, I kind of understand what he means, because Skirmish is going to give you those rewards every 5 caches, but the XP you need to get those caches is quite high from what I've seen. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's quite broad across the spectrum, because they've buffed some of the boss drop chances. I know it's still only like 3% here and 5% there and whatever, but it's still better than it used to be. So
yeah, you can get classified from any mission boss now, right?
I believe so. Yes,
which didn't used to be the case. So that's good.
Yeah, they've basically in update 1.8 they've buffed it, and it's going to get even better once all the gear sets have actually been released in the global events. So I think it's just a matter of time and playing the game, unfortunately. And I think you're always going to have that aspect. And
what I would say is like Rob mentioned earlier with the new voice recordings, go up in Westside Pier. There's 38, I believe, voice recordings to find. 38 times 100,000 XP. You're getting some serious field proficiency caches from those. I didn't need it, but I got some Dead-Eye Classified something or other from a FSP yesterday. So,
yeah. Thank you for the question, Capitan. If you want to send a question in, go for it. Next week. That being the case,
yes,
our famous catchphrase.
Yeah, apparently. Everybody drink. It's been 3 weeks. I bet you're thirsty now.
All right, Rob.
Yeah,
you sound a bit hoarse there.
Do I?
Yeah, go.
Oh, is it my bit?
So, do you not perform when told? Dance, monkey.
Dance. You can find us at SITREP Radio on Twitter and Facebook. Tweet us with the hashtags TeamSitRep, as we're all affiliated with the hashtag. If you have any questions or feedback for the show, send them to the email address sitrepRadiopod@gmail.com. Luke?
Wow, are you in a rush, dude?
I want to play the game, yeah. Hurry up. Shush.
You can find SITREP Radio on any of the following platforms: iTunes, Apple Podcasts for iOS, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, Overcast for iOS, Stitcher, Player.fm, Pocket Casts, RSS feeds, Podbeans, and please rate, review, and subscribe whilst you're there. Thank you.
Make sure to check out Mash Those Buttons on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Go check out the other podcasts that are part of the Mash Those Buttons family. God, I'm tired. If you stay to the end, you can. That's not even on this other thing anymore. I'm failing. I'm shutting down. Robert.
Mike's forgotten how to speak properly. Speak proper. Don't forget, you can also check us out on YouTube. We are currently putting lots of content onto YouTube, thanks to Mike and his hard work and lack of sleep. Please subscribe, leave a comment. That'd be awesome. Tell your friends, tell your mum, tell Spider's mum.
What's his PSN, Spider?
Spider-Man 2099.
Apparently he streams from time to time as well, but
yeah, go watch him on Twitch. He's good.
I don't think anybody bothers.
Go follow him. Go say hi to him. Go say hi to his mom. Say his mom says hi. Whatever you want to do. Thank you, Sean Winder over at the Division Elites. This has been a very messy episode of SITREP Radio. We thank you as always for watching. I love you, Rob.
Love you too.
What you want me to say it, Luke? He's just shaking his head. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.